Now, of course, always one of the big discussions in the world of movies and movie fans is who's the next James Bond? I mean, hell, even when Daniel Craig was like 2 films into his stint as James Bond, people are asking, well, who's the next James Bond? Always, who's the next Batman and who's the next James Bond? These are the questions that always seem to get brought up, and we have had a litany of fantastic Bonds over the year. Daniel Craig happens to be my favorite. And the reason he's my favorite is because I think Daniel Craig was the perfect amalgamation of the suaveness of the Roger Moore Bond with the badassness of the Sean Connery Bond. And I always kind of found Daniel Craig to be a really nice mix of those two. But I've loved all the Bonds that we've had.
I feel like it was like a Sean Connery and, oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? Far left. License to Kill.
Dylan? Or Dalton?
Dalton, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had that intensity of Dalton.
Dalton was great, too. By the way, Dalton, you could see him in the final season, of course, of Doom Patrol. Loved him in Doom Patrol. Anyway, so who's going to be the next one? We've heard a lot of names thrown around, right? And then, you know, the Broccoli's been saying, oh, we haven't even started casting that yet. And I said, I don't know that I buy that. I don't know if I completely buy that. Well, one of the names that has been high on the list of a lot of fans, that a lot of fans think were a real possibility to be the next James Bond, is that of Taron Egerton, who is great. He's fantastic. And I don't know if I ever personally saw him as Bond, maybe a little bit. I mean, I would have been okay if they cast him, but he's been high on the list. Well, apparently, according to him, it ain't going to be him. But more than that, it sounds like he believes that the new Bond's already been cast, because he said the following. You can go to my screen on this. He said, yeah, this is Taron Egerton speaking. I mean, I think they've already got someone, and it's not me, said Egerton. Yeah, I mean, I've never been a part of the conversations. I've never met the Broccoli's personally. They've never inquired about me. I've just never been one of the guys that they're looking at. I just don't think I'm the right person for that. I think there's much, 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 much better candidates for that role than me. But, you know, I'd be a very willing audience member. They're brilliant films. So going back to the top where he said, yeah, I mean, I think they've already got somebody. Now, it should be pointed out that that is not a 100% confirmation that they actually do. But Taron is not some random fan. He has agents and managers and agencies that he works with, and he knows things and he hears things. And so when Taron says, I think they've got somebody already, I don't think that's just him as a random fan speculating. I think he's heard something. Now, whether or not it is 100% true that they've got their next James Bond locked up, we won't know that for a while. But it sounds like maybe they do, and it's not going to be Taron. And look, I never really thought Taron was one of the front runners to be the next James Bond. Right now, it's kind of looking like either Henry Cavill or Aaron Taylor Johnson. I would put probably my money on one of those two, probably being it next. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, you hear about this, Chris. How do you interpret Taron's words here? And did you think that he might have been an actual serious contender to be Bond?
I do feel like he could have been a name that was brought up. I mean, the Kingsman, his role as Eggsy is very Bond adjacent. So I can understand that. Same thing with Richard Madden, who's another name who's come up, right? His bodyguard role.
He would be great.
Very much feels Bond-like. But, you know, I think that this is, when we talk about casting speculation too, it is hard to kind of believe anyone at this point, especially in a post-comic book world where everyone's kind of very tongue-in-cheek about what role they're getting. But I feel like he'd be pretty honest about this. And he also is somebody who I think is chasing prestige roles as well as these kind of action, popcorny things too, especially after Rocket Man. I think he's really, really trying to explore all of that. Blackbird, even on Apple TV, was fantastic.
Well, Tetris looks really good.
Mm-hmm. He's doing a lot of really, really interesting stuff. And being in another franchise, I know Kingsman, he was only in 2 of them, but still, committing to a franchise might not be on his radar right now. So it makes sense for him to pivot. I still think that maybe Henry Goulding could be in the talks for this. I think that'd be a really interesting choice. Or maybe they get a complete unknown. I think that'd be kind of fun. Bond is a really powerful name. Do you even need a name actor with the franchise?
Probably
Justin
not.
Long.
I mean, for the initial, here's the thing about that.
Everything.
For the initial buzz, yeah, you want a name.
Okay.
But the reality is, once you've got your new Bond, because let's be honest, how many people knew the name Daniel Craig? Wait, wasn't he like a 4th line character in that one Tomb Raider movie? I mean, really, like Daniel Craig was not a household name. But once whoever they cast, let's say it's a no-name person, once they do the first Bond film, that's it. They're Bond. and their name does become a household name, right? Look at what happened to Daniel Craig. Like as soon as he became James Bond, Daniel Craig, household name. So yeah, you're right. It doesn't necessarily have to be a known name. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Taron is saying that he's not Bond, but he's pretty sure they've already got their Bond. Do you have any kind of thoughts as to who that Bond might be? Do you have a pick of who you would like it to be? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Guys, it's the new year. Do you remember those New Year's goals you promised yourself you'd stick to? HelloFresh is here to help you eat better by delivering fresh ingredients and easy recipes right to your door, taking the hassle out of dinner time. Looking for an easy way to eat well and save money? Cut back on expensive takeout and delivery and get started with HelloFresh. You'll love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip up a restaurant-quality meal right in your own kitchen. My wife Ann and I have been constantly impressed by HelloFresh. Not only how absolutely delicious the food is, but how easy it is to prepare and how much fun we have doing it. Go to HelloFresh.com/Campea60 and use the code Campea60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Campea60 for 60% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.